everyone! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alina, and today, as you can see, we're going to crochet fingerless gloves from leftover yarn you can find at home. I, of course, have plenty of black yarn, but these are really just leftovers, so just grab whatever you have at home. And don't be afraid to use some fluffy or unusual yarn like this one. It will definitely add a nice touch. I'm the kind of person who's not very good at matching colors together. I usually stick to 2, at most 3 colors. And with the third one, I'm never quite sure. But this time, I have to say, I think I did a good job. Maybe I'm finally starting to learn it, because I really think they turned out well this time. Here is the glove. I only have one so far, and I'll make the second one together with you. And this is how it looks. I think the transition with the orange, and this one is called Forget-Me-Not Blue. It's a mix of bamboo and acrylic from Yarn Art Jeans Bamboo. This one is Drops Paris, 100% cotton. This one is the classic Yarn Art Jeans, the black one as well, and that's 45% acrylic and 55% cotton, I believe. And this fluffy one is from Himalaya Koala. So fluffy. It's just a leftover, simply scraps of yarn you can find at home. And I think they turned out really well. We even have a ribbing here. It's a slightly shaped glove, but of course, everyone has different hands and different yarn scraps, so there will be many kinds of gloves in the end. Let me show it to you like this once more, and we can get started. We start by crocheting a chain. I'll make 30 plus 1 for turn-in, but of course everyone's hand is a different size, so each of us will have a different number of chain stitches. And make those chain stitches a little loose because later they will tighten up, so don't pull them too tight. And now measure this part around your hand. It's just a little bit bigger, as you can see. But that's because we're going to start crocheting slip stitches here. The first row is all slip stitches, so it will hold nicely and tighten a bit, and it will shrink down. So don't worry about that. Just leave a little extra room, okay? So, as I said, these will be slip stitches, all the way down to the end of the chain. So I've reached the end, and in the last slip stitch we'll change the yarn. I'm taking this fluffy one. At the end, make 1 chain stitch for turning. Make 1 single crochet into that turning chain, and then continue with single crochets in the top loop of each slip stitch, all the way to the end of the row. Keep counting your stitches. If you're using the same yarn as I am, or some similar fluffy yarn, I really recommend crocheting loosely, because in the next row it will make your work much easier when you need to find the stitches. I'm again at the end of the row at the last single crochet, and once more I'm going to change the yarn. At the end, make 2 chain stitches and turn your work. And now it gets a bit tricky. You'll have to crochet by touch, feeling where the stitch is. And now we're going to make half double crochets. Make the first one right next to that turning chain. The yarn is fluffy, so you can't really see the stitches. Keep counting. And by touch, check if you're in the right stitch. And again, continue all the way to the end of the row. I'm again at the end, at the last stitch, and I'm putting down the orange yarn and taking back the black one. With that, I'll finish the half double crochet. Make 2 chain stitches, turn your work, and now we'll continue with the black yarn. Still working half double crochets, all the way to the end of the row. Again, I've reached the end, and now you'll change the yarn. But if you have fewer leftovers, you can just continue with the same color. Since I have a lot of scraps, I'm going to take green here. At the end, make 2 chain stitches, turn your work, and always make 1 half double crochet right next to the turning chain. Then continue with half double crochets all the way to the end of the row. I'm at the end again, and I'm taking back the orange yarn. Don't cut any of the yarns yet, okay? Leave them there because you'll still need them. Make 2 chain stitches, turn your work, and right next to the turning chain, make a half double crochet. It never works when I try to show it. And then continue all the way to the end of the row with half double crochets using this orange yarn. I'm again at the end. And now it might look, if we take it like this, as though we're picking up the fluffy yarn again, but we're not. Underneath, there's the black yarn, and this part with the fluffy yarn is added only after the whole glove is finished. So now we take the black yarn. With the black yarn, finish that half double crochet, then make 2 chain stitches, turn your work, and again, right next to the turning chain, make 1 half double crochet. Then continue with half double crochets all the way to the end of the row. I'm again at the end of the row, and I'm taking back the dark green yarn to finish that half double crochet. Make 2 chain stitches, turn your work, make 1 half double crochet next to the turning chain, and then continue the whole row with half double crochets. I'm again at the end of the row, and I'm going to change the yarn, this time to light blue. Of course, you can take whatever color you have at home, or the same one if you want. Again, make 2 chain stitches, turn your work, and repeat the same process. Make 1 half double crochet next to the turning chain and continue with half double crochets all the way to the end of the row. I'm again at the end of the row, and the light blue is basically repeating what the orange did. So if you imagine this part in light blue, the next color now is black. And you just keep repeating the same thing over and over. 1 half double crochet next to the turning chain, and then the whole row. I've reached the end again, and we're taking the dark green yarn. I just wanted to untangle it here and let you know that you can cut off the orange yarn now. We won't need it anymore. So, we continue the same way. Again, make 1 half double crochet next to the turning chain, and then keep going with them all the way to the end of the row. I've reached the end and I'm changing the yarn again. I'm taking the light blue to finish this half double crochet, and we won't need the dark green anymore, so you can cut it off. Turn your work and repeat the same thing. Make 1/2 double crochet next to the turning chain and repeat that all the way to the end of the row. I've reached the end and I'm taking back the black yarn to finish that half double crochet. Make 2 chain stitches and you won't need the light blue anymore. And now we won't need the 4mm hook anymore. I'm taking a 3mm hook. For me, this is the last row. Of course, everyone has different hand sizes, so it's a good idea to measure your hand and make the number of stitches you need, okay? I have a fairly small hand, so it's enough for me, but on the other hand, the glove isn't very short. It covers my wrist and goes up this far, so I think it should fit most people. So we continue the same way. Make 1/2 double crochet next to the turning chain and work half double crochets into each stitch. The only difference is that we've changed the hook. I've reached the end, and now we're going to make the ribbing. Of course, if you have a longer hand, continue a bit further. Make 9 chain stitches, but keep them a little loose. And we make them a little loose because this is where the seam is. If you tightened the chain stitches and then worked single crochets into them, it would pull in. You can't really see it here because mine is fine, but otherwise it wouldn't be even. This part would be shorter and it wouldn't look nice. To keep it straight and neat, it's important to crochet the chain a bit more loosely. Turn your work. And you probably won't see much because it's black yarn, but work down along the chain and make 8 single crochets. This stitch is the one we just worked into. So next to it, make a slip stitch. Yes, this is the stitch where we did the turning chain. And here make a slip stitch, pull it tight, and next to it, make 1 more slip stitch. Turn your work, and skip the 2 slip stitches you just made, then work into the 3rd stitch. If you're not sure, count from the top down to the hook. You need to place 8 single crochets there, working into the back loop only. I have 8 here. Make 1 chain stitch, turn your work again, and work down along the chain into the back loop, making 8 single crochets again. I've reached the end again, and this hole is the one we worked into before. So next to it, make a slip stitch. If you're not sure, mark it. Once you make the slip stitch, it will stretch and look like you didn't work into it, but you actually did. Then make one more slip stitch next to it and turn your work again. If you're unsure, mark this slip stitch so you know where to start. You'll repeat this all the way to the end, skipping the 2 slip stitches you just made. Into the 3rd stitch, working in the back loop, make 8 single crochets. And continue like this, all the way to the end of the row. We'll see each other at the end. I've finished my ribbing. It should be about 30 rows for me. In your case, I'm not sure. Everyone will have a different hand size. And now we're going to do this. I'm taking back the 4mm hook and we'll make one here, which is the last row, and one in the center, so it's somewhere around here. So we're going to work with this black yarn. In your case, it will just be somewhere in the center. And you'll go into each half double crochet, into the gap, and at the bottom where you hold the yarn, pick it up, and we're going to make slip stitches. This is how you'll decorate the glove. You can also use chenille yarn or even satin yarn. I'd say just use whatever you have at home. Continue like this for the whole row. I've finished mine like this, and you might ask, why didn't we make a row of single crochets like we did here? I decided to make single crochets here to cover the slip stitches and also to create a little tightening effect so it holds nicely. The side with the slip stitches is the wrong side, and the side where you can't see them is the right side. So the fluffy yarn actually covers the slip stitches. To make it look nice, I chose to place this decoration in the center and upwards. Of course, you could work single crochets all over, but it's unnecessary and slower, especially with fluffy yarn. Here we're working into the last row, not the ribbing. Repeat the same process. Continue to the end of the row. I've finished the second row. Now we'll sew using the fluffy green yarn. This is the starting point, so we'll sew a piece up to the dark green yarn, then continue here and also sew here. You'll need a fairly long piece. Cut about 50 centimeters. With this prepared panel, take a needle and tie together the stitches that are closest to each other. Stay near the edge, because we'll cover it later with the fluffy yarn. From point A to point B, make 3 knots, but don't pull too tight to avoid deforming the glove. Sew to the wrong side. Here you can see the slip stitch. That's the wrong side. Pull it down a little, maybe 2 stitches, so the ends don't peek through the sewing. In this way, sew everything. On this side, I left one fluffy piece, in case I need to join it with the second fluffy piece we're now sewing. Work with the right side inside. It's black, so you probably won't see much, but just sew it as best you can. I can't see clearly from this distance either, so I'll hope I'm sewing correctly. The black part is done. This is how it's sewn. I'll try it on immediately. It has to fit. It shouldn't stick out. I made it about 5 times and kept undoing it. This Himalaya koala yarn is strong. It won't tear. We're going to sew along the dark green yarn. Each thumb will be a little different. Try it on to see how it fits. Sew in a way that covers everything you don't want visible. I made my piece a little too long, but I didn't want to adjust the yarn like I did in the first glove, so I made it longer. Maybe a bit too long. We're at this stage, and now we'll sew along the black side. Now we'll sew the orange row. Complete this section of this side. I have both gloves finished. I hope you managed to follow along. I'd love for you to share your gloves on my Instagram or Facebook group and show the beautiful color variations you created at home. Maybe I inspired you. You can even use chenille yarn instead of the fluffy yarn. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, and share it with others. Take care, bye.